Stos Zafiropoulos here with the Times of San Diego. Joining me today is WWE superstar and San Diego legend Dominik Mysterio, aka Dirty Dom. How we doing today, man?
I'm good, man. You just made my day. San Diego legend. I appreciate that.
That's what you are, man. That's what you are. You mean a lot to a lot of people here in San Diego and Southern California in general, man. So, honestly, the first question I wanted to ask you was just the fact that you were just named the number one wrestler on ESPN's 30 under 30 list. How does that feel and what does that mean to you, man?
Man, it's pretty surreal to be honest. Never would I have expected to be ESPN's 30 under 30, especially on back-to-back years at number one, you know. And I'm sure a lot of people didn't expect it either. So it's cool to see it happening, man, because I'm just a kid from San Diego chasing his dreams, man, trying to be the greatest Mysterio out here.
That's awesome, man. And I wanted to ask you, kind of what excites you the most about your rematch for the Intercontinental Championship against John Cena this Saturday?
Man, I think what excites me the most about this is the fact that, we get to do this in San Diego. Not only that, but at Petco Park, and it's the first wrestling event Petco Park has ever held. And it's such a big event for us, it's one of our big four. We got Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Survivor Series, and SummerSlam, which are usually the big four for WWE. So it's really cool that, Survivor Series is being held at Petco Park and I get to run it back with him. I lost the title to him in his hometown in Boston. So now we get to run it back in my hometown of San Diego. So I think that's really special.
Yeah, man, it is. And it's the first premium live event in San Diego since 2008. What does it kind of feel like to be part of the headline for that event?
Man, it's super surreal, man. I remember being a kid and going down to what used to be the San Diego Sports Arena.
Hmm.
Now it's a Pachanga. I don't know if it's changed its name since then, but I remember going down there as a kid. Taking all my buddies down there to go watch the wrestling events. And it kind of came full circle for me a couple years back when I got to wrestle there. So now taking it, to the next level. Getting to do that at Petco Park against John Cena. One of the main matches, one of the most I guess you want to call it anticipated matches because it's the talk of the town, especially out here in San Diego. So it's really special, man. I'm just blessed.
That's awesome. And I wanted to ask you, what about your persona as Dirty Dom do you think makes WWE fans consider you one of the greatest villains in pro wrestling?
I think the fact that, I'm 28 years old, so the generation that I believe is currently watching, grew up watching me. As far as an 8-year-old Dom with the whole Eddie and Ray custody. But also too, just the way I behave and my mannerisms, I feel like everything I do, I'm just doing the opposite of what I was told not to do as a kid. So now that I get to live that out and do that on, live television and do these angles and have Liv Morgan by my side. Like people hate it and they love it because they're like, damn, I thought about doing that as a kid, but I'd get my ass beat or I'd get in trouble or like something, right? But like I'm everything I was told not to do, I'm just doing it. So people are like, I'm sure they're in some way, shape, or form connect with it because it's like, I wish I could do that, you know?
No, totally. And I know that you claim to be the king of luchadors. Why do you believe you are the king?
I'll tell you why I am the current king of the luchadors. So AAA being a, you know, Mexican promotion
Hmm.
currently bought out by WWE. My father helped, build that company along with several of my godfathers. So it's a important part of lucha libre history, right? So the fact that I came in and only had two matches and became their basically heavyweight champion, their mega champion. Um, I think speaks levels of the kind of luchador and Mysterio that I am. My father never held that title. It took me two matches to get their main championship. I've had it for, months now. No one's been able to take it off of me. AAA now has a TV deal because of, you know. who's their mega champion at the moment, right? I'm not tooting any horns here, but I'm just saying. But at the end of the day, I've done my fair share. I've beaten one of the greatest luchadors in Rey Mysterio, Penta, who they claim is one of the best. I dog walk his ass every time I wrestle him. So I mean, it speaks for itself, you know?
No, totally. And speaking of your dad, Rey Mysterio Jr., what is it kind of like? I'm sure you get this question a lot, but what is it like having such big expectations being the son of one of the greatest pro wrestlers of all time?
And to be honest, I never really thought about it as far as like, the pressure or like having to fill in his shoes. I was almost just trying to have fun and just do what I do. I just wanted to be good at what I did. I didn't want to be, compared or do what he did, especially because of the size difference as well. I knew right off the bat I'm 6'1", he's 5'4". So all the acrobatic stuff for me, I can do, but it's a little bit harder being as lanky as I am, so I had to figure out a different way to do what I do. So I think that kind of helped me out and not having to worry so much about having to fill his shoes. I was just kind of doing me and hoping it worked.
Hey man, I still think you can hit the 619 pretty good though, man. It's cool to see you do that. I wanted to ask you, how has both you and your father's legacy impacted the pro wrestling culture and the communities in Southern California and San Diego?
Man, I think in a way we've really impacted it, because we were the first ever father-son tag team champions in WWE history. And ever since that happened, I've had a lot of people come up to me and tell me like, man, like my son says like, hey, maybe we can be tag team champions one day, or they'll play wrestle or whatever, and the kid will be like, I'm Dom Mysterio, like you be the dad. So like the fact that we have that sort of impact on kids and families and stuff, like it's just super surreal, man. Like, because I remember doing that as a kid, for me, like not obviously not in the father-son aspect, but you play wrestle and you pretend to be a certain wrestler. You want to be the Undertaker or Shawn Michaels or Triple H, right? So now it's cool that, the roles are reversed, that, these kids want to be, Dirty Dom or Dom and fight against Rey Mysterio. So that's honestly really cool. And especially, Latino families too, like you said,
Mhm.
being from San Diego and Southern California. I grew up with all my family down in Tijuana, down across the border. So it's really special, man. I'm happy to be a part of the culture.
1000%. And speaking of Tijuana, I know your dad started wrestling down there when he was just 14. Can you kind of describe the connection between lucha libre wrestling in Mexico and San Diego, with San Diego being so close to the border?
Yeah, man. It's basically a religion down here, especially down there. It's people take it very, very seriously. I remember hearing stories of, my great grandma going down to the shows and putting, rocks in her purse and hitting my great uncle's opponents because she didn't want her son getting hurt, Rey Mysterio Sr. So like they take it as seriously as they possibly can down there. So like it's religious for us, every Saturday, every Friday when there were shows about Auditorio, we would go down and check out the wrestling events. And even here in San Diego, whenever there was something in town, all the boys would always go down there. It's just at the end of the day, it's part of the culture.
Totally. And I mean, on the day before Thanksgiving, right? We got Thanksgiving tomorrow and ahead of the biggest WWE event in San Diego history. What are you grateful for in your homecoming to San Diego?
And I'm just grateful for life. I'm grateful for my wife, being able for good health, my job. I'm thankful for many things, I'm a very blessed man and I'm very fortunate to be in the position that I'm in. And there's a lot to be thankful for.
1000%, man. And Thanksgiving's such a great holiday. Do you have any like any family traditions that you and your family kind of partake in for Thanksgiving?
Of course, yeah. So I know traditionally turkey's a big thing,
Hmm.
but in my family we started doing turkey legs
Okay.
instead of a whole turkey. So they'll just put like a whole tray out of turkey legs and everyone will just come in Disneyland style. Just everyone just grabs a turkey leg and goes in, and we also have tamales because you can't go wrong with
Yeah,
tamales.
you can't, man. Honestly, I've always been more of like a honey baked ham type of guy, but
Okay.
I love me some turkey though, man. One other question that I wanted to ask you was just what can we kind of expect going into this match between you and John Cena? Obviously, I know you can't give me too much, but what should the average fan be looking for?
The average fan can expect a very exciting match. Um, and honestly, expect the unexpected, man. I don't know what's gonna happen. At the end of the day, um, last time I was by myself and business was not handled. So the Judgment Day is definitely gonna need to be by my side on this one. We're gonna do everything possible to bring gold back home.
That's awesome, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me. One last thing I wanted to add was I don't know if you've gotten this question before. Personally, Nacho Libre is one of my favorite movies out there. Have you ever like watched it? What are your thoughts on that movie?
Of course, bro. There's like I want to say 5 to 10 movies that are ingrained in my memory that I
Hmm.
just quote for random everyday life, and
Yeah.
Nacho Libre is one of them. I love that movie. It's gold, pure gold. I have an original Ramses mask too.
No way.
Yeah, from back in the day. It was played by the legendary Silver King,
Yo,
R.I.P.
that's cool. I literally dressed up as Nacho Libre for Halloween last year. I had to. I was like, I
That's
curled the
awesome.
hair. I did everything, man. It was cool.
That's so good.
But I really appreciate you taking the time today, man. Good luck in your match on Saturday and have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Have a good Thanksgiving, man. Enjoy the pay-per-view, and I hope you see a new champion on Saturday.
Yeah. I'll be there at the event. I'll be covering it. I'm excited.
Awesome, man.
Shout out.
Enjoy.
Awesome. Thank
All right,
you.
brother. Take care.